Okay, so what are these signal flow graphs and why we have to use this? So microwave network we can take. So we have many methods to solve for voltage and current. Okay, so if you take any microwave network, we have to get the solution for V and I, or we have to find out the values V and I. Okay, so for this, so if I take just an example for two port network S parameters, so we have V1 minus, which is equal to S11 V1 plus S12 V2 plus, and similarly V2 minus, which is equal to S21 V1 plus S22 V2 plus. So this is, we can see here, these are the two variables, so where we can find out the reflected voltage based on the values of S11 S parameters and the incident voltage at the two ports. Okay, even we can write in the matrix form. Okay, so this actually it is in terms of linear equations we have. Okay, so we can know one parameter from other parameters, so from the network, which is the data provided, so that we can able to find out the other variables. Okay, so similarly we can have the solution for voltage and current in terms of the matrix method also. So we have already seen, so we can write this one in terms of matrix method also. So we can use some matrix methods like row reduction or column reduction, like that. Even we can have the solution for the variables. Okay, or we can have the solutions for voltage and current. So now these are the two well-known solutions to find out the solution for voltage and currents in any microwave network. Okay, so in any normal general even low frequency networks also we can use the linear equations and we can use the matrix method. So what happens in this equations method and matrix method, so just we can know about the values of the voltage and current. Okay, but we cannot come to know, so within the network, how the current or voltage or the waves which are, if I assume incident voltage and whatever, so reflected voltage and all, so this the flow of the waves we cannot able to see, how actually from where to where the signal it is going, whether it is reflected signal or whether it is the transmitted signal, that and all. The flow of the signal from one point to other point, it is not actually the pictorially we cannot see by solving these methods, that is in linear equation and matrix method. So only we can able to get the just values of the voltage and current. But if you want to know how to the signal will flow from one point to other point, now we can use that one more technique to find out that, that is called as signal flow graph. Okay, so this is a nothing but a the graph which we can see how the signal will flow from one point to other point. Okay, so this is what, so even we can have the flow of signal in terms of the incident reflected voltages, and also so the S parameters also we can able to represent with the multiplying factors. Okay, that we will see how we can represent the signal flow graph, and it is actually simpler method to reduce complete overall the expression of the complete network. So you might have seen in your control system course, so the transfer function we will going to find out, okay, for a particular system. So that transfer function, if you going to find, you will going to get the gain of the overall system. So that actually use your Mason's gain formula, that will actually use the reduction techniques. Okay, the graph the diagram reduction technique, so using signal flow graphs, and you can able to find out the transfer function. From that you can able to find out the overall gain of the system. Now here also we can able to find out, so if I just say for example, if I want to find out input reflection coefficient of the overall network, so by using this signal flow graph technique, so we can able to find what is the expression for the gamma in terms of the variables. So this type of the method which is easy and simpler, so the reduction technique also we can able to solve for different networks easily, and it is So also comparatively, if you see the block diagram method, it is very easy and simpler method to reduce the microwave network for a particular the variable, and also so it will be very easy to find out the voltage and current. Okay. So now if we just see the definition, how we can able to find the definition of signal flow graph. So this signal flow graphs which are contains the nodes. Okay. So these nodes will be actually called as the ports which are representing the variables, so which are actually called the nodes. Okay. So each actually the port whatever here you are having, so that ports we can represent in terms of the nodes. Okay. So and also we can have the branches. Okay. So that branches which actually directed from the variables, from one variable to other variables, and so these branches will be multiplied by so some signal multipliers. Okay. So that arrow indicates. So let us say if we have the node 1 or node A1 and node B1. Okay. So these two nodes which represents the ports. Okay. And so the signal which is flowing from one node to another node and the multiplying factor which is having here, so this is actually called the branch. Okay. So the branch, it actually represents the one way signal flow and it multiplied by n, so the letter which is near to it, which is actually called as the multiplication factor. Okay. So this is what the signal flow graph is. So we can write the signal flow graph for different types of networks. So actually this is an even we can tell it as a block diagram method also, but it is simpler than that normal whatever the in general block diagram method. Okay. So this is what the signal flow graph, and what are all the features of this signal flow graph is. Okay. So if we see the features of SFG, that is signal flow graph. So now we have, as I said, node. Okay. So this node actually each port which having in the network. Okay. In any micro network you will be having different ports, say for example I ports which we are having. Okay. So each port, so this will be represented by the node. So now if I have some node AI, so representing so the wave entering to the port I. Okay. So the wave entering to the port I. So if I represent AI in terms of the wave which is entering to the port I, so the nodes which are the nodes are variables which are actually so entering, so those are all called as independent variable. Okay. Independent variable. And similarly if I have the node BI, okay, so which represents the wave reflected, okay, wave reflected from port I. Okay. So if the wave reflected from port I, so then we'll call it as dependent variable. So if the wave is reflecting from any node, so that node will be call it as dependent variable, and the wave which is entering to the port particular port, so that will be call it as independent variable. And as I said, the branch which is so the path between two nodes. So if we take A1 and B1, so this is a path between two nodes, so that will be call it as the branch. Okay. So actually it will go from the independent variable to the dependent variable. So if I take this as independent variable and this is dependent variable, so always the branch, so which actually go from the independent variable to the dependent variable. So and also it represents the signal flow. So you can see the arrow, it is very important where from which variable to which variable it is flowing. So that arrow it is also important, and the multiplication factor. So the nearby arrow which will be whatever the representation is there, that is the multiplying factor for this branch. Okay. So now, so if you want to reduce the signal flow graph for a particular quantity to find out either the input reflection coefficient or either output reflection coefficient. We have different methods to follow or different steps to follow. Even so, we can write the SMAT, the signal flow variables or signal flow graph variables for a two-port network. Okay, so if I just see, if I take any two-port network, okay, so we can able to write the signal flow graph in terms of signal flow graph variables. Okay, so this is two-port network where we'll be having so S matrix. So thus that we have already seen, so in terms of V1 plus and V1 minus and V2 plus and V2 minus. Okay, so now in general we have already seen so that the generalized scattering matrix which we can represent in terms of the B, so the reflected voltage in terms of the matrix S matrix and incident voltages. So if I represent in terms of the generalized scattering matrix where we have a two different port impedances, we can have the reflected voltage in terms of B and incident voltage in terms of A. Okay, so now let us have the representation. So this two-port network representation in terms of the so S matrix and node. So we can represent like this. So we have A1 and B1, and similarly we have A2 and B2. So that is B2 and A2. So entering here, so here the port entering the wave here. Okay, and similarly here. So now that we can represent so two-port network in terms of the so the S parameters we can see here. So where so the wave which is going from A1 to B2, so that will actually call it as S21. Okay, so that we have already defined this one. So in terms of B and A. So similarly you can write here S11 and this one. So this is actually in this direction. So because it is flowing from A2 to B1, so this is S12 and this one is S22. Okay, so this is what the representation so for the two-port network in terms of the nodes. Okay, so that is reflected voltage B1 and reflected voltage B2 and incident voltage A1 and A2. So in terms of these we can represent the so the signal flow graph like this. Okay, even we can so just if you take this one itself, so if I take the A2 and S12, so how we can represent at B1? Okay, because two signals which are flowing to B1, how I can represent B1, which is nothing but S11 A1 plus S12 A2. So like that we can add these two signal for the so the node B1. Now similarly if I write the things for this one, so we will going to get so the B1 which is equal to, so see here for B1, so S11 S12 flowing, so that is S11 from A1 it is flowing and S12 from A2 it is flowing. And similarly for B2 if I write, okay, so S21 from A1 it is flowing and S22 from A2 it is flowing. So that is S21 A1 plus S22 A2. So this is what the signal flowing representation so for the two-port network. Okay, so now let us take, so whenever we have the any network which we have source and load, okay, how we can represent the signal flow graph. So let us take, there is two-port network here. Okay, so now we have the load which is there, so we can represent it as the impedance load ZL, and we have the source. Okay, so that is source which we can write it as ES at an angle 0, and we have the source impedance which is ZS. Okay, so now if I look at from this side, so this is source reflection coefficient which we can write it as gamma S, and if I write from this point of view I am looking at into the port or into the network, which we can write it as gamma in, that is the reflection coefficient from the input side. And similarly, if I look at this one to the network, so we can write it as this one gamma out, and if I write this one as the gamma L. So if I look at from this point, it is only at the load end, which is nothing but gamma L. So now we can obtain the signal flow graph for this microwave network. Okay, so how to obtain the signal flow graph? So now let us represent the voltage which is at this point, which is having generator. Okay, so that is the generator side, so which will be having voltage. So let us have like this, and similarly the same the current which is flowing, which is nothing but Ig, we can represent Ig. Okay, so now Vg, so which we can represent it as at this point. Okay, so if I apply the KVL for this one, so we will going to get Vg, which is equal to Es plus Ig into Zs. Okay, so this is what at the input side, that is source side. Okay, so now similarly if I apply here the VL, so that is if I see the voltage at this point VL and the corresponding the signal which is flowing, the current which is flowing to the load, which is IL, so we can write it as the VL, which is nothing but, so that is IL into ZL. Okay, so this is from the source end and this is from the load end. So now let us take the source end. Okay, so that is Vg which is equal to Es plus Ig into Zs. So now we know, so Vg we can represent in terms of the incident voltage and as well as the reflected voltage. Okay, so that is Vg plus and Vg minus. So if I represent like that, Vg plus Vg minus, which is equal to Es plus Zs into Ig, we can write in terms of the Ig plus and Ig minus, and that one in terms of the Vg plus and Vg minus, we can write it as Vg plus by Z0 minus Vg minus by Z0. Okay, this is what we can write. So now we can take the Vg plus term one side and Vg minus terms other side. Okay, so what we will going to get? So let us take Vg minus to this side. So we will going to get Vg minus by Z0 plus Vg minus, which is equal to Es plus so Zs into, so whatever Vg plus we are taking this side, that is so Vg plus by Z0. So here Zs we have to multiply, because so here Zs is there, Zs into Vg by Z0. So even we have here Zs plus Vg by Z0. Okay, so if I take that one minus Vg plus. Okay, so this is what we have. So now we can simplify this equation. So taking Vg minus outside. So now if I take Vg minus outside, so we will be having Zs by Z0 plus 1. Okay, so which is equal to Es plus, so now if I take Vg plus common, Zs by Z0 minus 1. So this is what we have the equation. Okay, so now if I take the Z0 common, which will be having Zs plus Z0 by Z0. So here Zs minus Z0 by Z0. So that we can write it as the Vg minus, which is equal to, or Vg minus into Zs plus Z0 divided by Z0, which is equal to Es plus, so Vg plus into Zs plus Z0, sorry, the Zs minus Z0 divided by Z0. Okay, so now this is what we are having this one. So now we can send this Zs plus Z0 to this side. So we will going to get Vg minus, so or even this term completely if I send that side. So okay, so retaining Z0 I am retaining here only Zs plus Z0 I will send this side. So you will going to get Es by Zs plus Z0 plus, so Vg minus into, so Zs minus Z0 divided by Zs plus Z0. So this will come here, and Vg sorry, Vg plus by Z0, it will be remain as it is. Okay. So now, so if I multiply the this Z0 even to this side, okay, so what you will going to get? Just I'll write it here. Okay, so now I'll get, so Vg minus by, so now I'll write this one as root Z0 into root Z0. Okay, so like that I'll write, and root, I'll replace one root Z0, I'll here I'll take, and one root Z0 I'll send this side. So what will happen? Es into root Z0 divided by Zs plus Z0 plus, so if I write Vg plus root Z0 here, so divided by Z0, so this into Zs minus Z0 divided by Zs plus Z0. So now we can see here, so Z0 and root Z0, so one term will get cancelled, so that I can write, so this one as Vg plus root Z0. So now this is the expression for the reflected voltage at the generator side. Now you can see here, so this, so reduction we can do in terms of the signal flow graph. How we can do that reduction? So let us write only the generator end. Okay, so if I write the generator end, okay, so now if I write only the generator end, so where we have Es, okay, and we have Zs. So now let us take this node as, so that is Ig which is flowing, so because, so we are taking Ig, and this port which is having Vg. Okay, so that is what we assume. Now let us take at this point, so the node which is Ag, okay, so on this point, so where reflected signal is Bg. Okay, and also there is a, so the wave which is coming from the source which is called as Bs. So that we can assume, so like this. So now we can write the signal flow, what is actual Bg. Okay, so Bg, which is nothing but, even we can see, so what is the source side, which is reflection coefficient, which is nothing but gamma s. Okay, so that we can write it as Bg, which is nothing but gamma s into Ag plus Bs. Okay, so now this Bg we can write it as the Vg minus divided by root Z0. Okay, so that whatever the reflected signal at this node, so that Bg in terms of Vg we can write that is a reflected signal. So at this point, let us say the characteristic impedance is Z0. Okay, so that is what we can able to, so write it Bg, and similarly Ag we can write it as the incident voltage, which is nothing but Vg plus divided by root Z0. Okay, so and gamma s, so the source side, so which we can write it as Zs minus Z0 divided by Zs plus Z0. Okay, so that is, so let us assume at this point we have the characteristic impedance Z0. So now if I want to find out the reflection coefficient from the, so looking into the source side, so we can have Zs minus Z0 by Zs plus Z0, that is what gamma s. And we have the Bs, which is the signal which is coming from the source side, so which actually gives the Es by, so Zs plus Z0 into root Z0. So this is what the signal which will be. So, and if I combine all these things, so we will get back this one. Okay, so whatever we have, so this is nothing but Bg, and this is nothing but your Bs, plus this is nothing but your Ag into gamma. Okay, so that is gamma s. So that is what we have got the equation for the source side or generator side, and we can write in terms of the signals, the signal flow graph we can write in terms of the nodes Bg, Ag and Bs. So now, so we can write this one in terms of the signal flow graph in terms of nodes. So we can write Bg, and for Bg which is coming the Bs. Okay, so Bs signal which is coming, and we can have the from Ag which is coming, and which is nothing but gamma s, and here we can assume this as normalized value, which is nothing but 1. Okay, so and we can flow, it will go to other nodes. So this is actually the source side, we can write it. Okay, now coming to the source side, so similarly we have load side. Okay, so even we can write the load side. So how we can write the load side for this network? So this load side we have assumed already the voltage VL. Okay, so that in terms of VL, so we can write it, that one. So that will give VL, which is nothing but IL into ZL. Okay, so now this VL we can represent again in terms of the reflected voltage and incident voltage. Okay, so which is nothing but ZL into IL, we can write it as again VL plus divided by Z0 minus VL minus divided by Z0. Okay, so that is what we can write. So now we can take the VL this side, so VL minus, so that is ZL into VL by Z0 plus VL minus, which is equal to ZL VL plus by Z0 minus VL plus. So now you can take VL minus common and we will getting ZL plus Z0 divided by ZL, and similarly here, so if I take VL plus common, so ZL minus Z0 divided by Z0. So this is what we will going to get. So now if I take the, sorry, this one is Z0, and if I take the VL minus divided by Z0, so and send it ZL plus Z0 this side, you will going to get VL plus Z0 into ZL minus Z0 divided by ZL plus Z0. Okay, so now if I write this one VL minus, so root Z0 into root Z0. Okay, so this will be VL plus by Z0 into, so this we can write it as the gamma L also. So let us write as it is, ZL minus Z0 divided by ZL plus Z0. So now if I root Z0, if I take 1 root Z0, if I send that side, so we will going to get VL plus divided by root Z0. Okay, so into ZL minus Z0 divided by ZL plus Z0. So this is at the load side. So we can have this signal, so which we can represent it as BL, which is nothing but VL minus root Z0, and similarly this we can represent it as AL, which is nothing but VL plus root Z0. So in terms of the nodes, and this ZL minus Z0 and ZL plus Z0, we can represent it as a load side reflection coefficient. Okay, so that is what we will going to get. So now if I represent that one, so in terms of the load side, so we can have, so like this, so we'll be having two nodes AL and BL. Okay, so that is, so if I represent this one as the ZL, and we have AL incident voltage and which is having BL reflected voltage, and we'll be having the voltage and current IL into VL. So that is what we can represent. And in terms of the nodes, so we can represent that one in terms of the nodes as, so this will be having AL node. Okay, and there is a gamma L which is flowing to the BL node. Okay, so this is what the reflected one. So this is at the load side we can write. So now combining all these things, so we can write, so like this, that is we have the source BS1, so which is flowing to B1, and we have the input reflection, that is source side, and which we will be having A1. Okay, and so at the load side we will be having P2, so which is flowing from A2. Okay, so this is nothing but gamma L. Okay, so we can represent A here and B here better, A, or we can write AL BL and AG BG, because that is what the notation we have used. Okay, so now we can write this one, so gamma L. So now we can see, so from AG to BL, so that is from the generator to load, if the signal flows. Okay, so then what will happen? So okay, so if the generator to load, so if the signal flows, so either it will be the forward or reflection coefficient. So what will be having? It is the forward reflection coefficient, so that is nothing but S21. Okay, similarly, so if the signal flows from load to the source, okay, so that is, so the reverse reflection coefficient, that is S12. Okay, so similarly, if the signal which is having the same reflection to the same port, okay, so that will be having the S11. So this will be having S11. So at the generator port or port 1 we can call it as. Okay, and similarly we have the reflection at the load side, so that will represent it as S2. Okay, so that is how we can represent the S parameters along with this, the source and load nodes. Okay, or source and load side. Even we can take this generator and load as 1 and 2, and we can write also the signal. So we can write that also. We can take this as B1 at the port 1, so and this one A1, and similarly we can take this as the port 2 and B2. So now we can see, so from A1 to B1 we have the S11 and as well as the source side gamma S, and similarly gamma L, and we have S22. So the port 2 reflection from the same port, and we will be having, so the signal flows from 2 to 1, so that is S12, and 1 to 2 S21. So that is what we can have the signal flow graph for the 2-port network. Okay, so is it understood? Any doubt? Okay, so if you have any doubt how we can represent, you can ask. Okay, so this is how we can represent any microwave network, any 2-port microwave network in terms of the generator and load side signal flow graph, or we can represent in terms of the, so number, port number 1 and 2, and we can represent. Okay, so if you have any doubt you can ask, otherwise we can go for the how we can reduce the signal flow graph to find out particular the variable. Say for example, in this itself, if I want to find out what is gamma S, so we can reduce this signal flow graph in terms of all other variables to find out gamma S. That we'll see how we can able to reduce the signal flow graph. So by using the Mason's gain formula, even which we have used in the control system. Okay, so that reduction techniques, so we have to follow some rules for in order to reduce the signal flow graph. So is there any doubt till now? So if you have any doubt you can ask, otherwise we'll again see what are the rules we can follow to reduce the signal flow graph. Okay, so let us see how we can what are the rules to follow the signal flow graph to reduce the signal flow graph. Okay, so the rules are, the first rule is the series rule. Okay, so what is meant by series rule? If I have two nodes with the multiplying factor some, say for example, so SA and SB, and we have the node V1 and V3 and V2, or even you can take A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, any nodes where the representation you can take. So if I have like this, the series, the connection of two branches in series, so now we can from V1 to V3 we can directly write it as, okay, so we can directly write it as the multiplying of these signals, that is SA and SP. Okay, so this is what the first rule, that is series rule, where we can multiply these two, the multiplying factors of the branches. So now if I have next one, so if it is the signal which is are in parallel, say for example from the same node both are going, okay, So if I have A1 and B1 nodes, and say for example SA and SB both are going so parallelly from A1 to B1. Okay, so this is actually called as parallel rule. Okay, so where we can represent from A1 to B1. Okay, so if it is the signal flowing like this, we can write SA plus SB. So we can add these two multiplying factors of the particular branches. We can add those two branches between A and B1. So you can see, observe here, so both the signals should go from the same node to the other node. So it is not opposite. If it is in opposite direction, you should not write like this. Okay, so that is very important. Both the signals in the same direction, parallel to each other, going from one node to other node. So then we can write SA plus SB. Okay, so now third one is self loop rule. Okay, so what is self loop rule? So if I have A1 and if I have B1 and if I have B2, okay, so even we can take it as B1, B2, B3. Now if I have, so the multiplying factors here SA and SB, and I have the loop which is flowing at the node B, and the multiplying factor of that, it is SL. So now how we can reduce this loop? So we can see, so how we can reduce this loop means, so you see the loop, what is the signal which is flowing towards the loop, that is where it is, so it is originating, that is the signal which is coming to the loop. Okay, so this loop we can reduce, so whichever the branch which is coming towards the loop, okay, not going away from the loop, we can see which the signal or which the branch which is coming towards the loop, so we can reduce that. So with respect to that branch, how we can reduce? So just divide, so this branch divided by 1 minus SL. So this loop is branch multiplying factor is SL, so we can write that one B1, so which is nothing but SA by 1 minus SL. Okay, so like that we can write. So that, so this is a self rule. I can reduce like this. So you have to look at which is the branch running towards the loop. So for that branch you can divide 1 minus SL, so that is multiplying factor. So that how we can reduce the loop formula. Okay, so this is what the self loop rule, and even one more it is the splitting rule. Okay, splitting rule. So now what is splitting rule? So now if I have the nodes A1, here B1, and or we can have B1, B2, B3. Okay, so now if I have the multiplying factor SA and here SB, and we have one more node, say for example B4, and it is going from B2 to B4, which is nothing but SC, we can write it as. So now, so since SA is also going B4 and SA is also going to B3 along the through the B2 node. So if I want to represent, or if I want to split the node, only I want to see the signal which is B1 to B4, okay, without seeing the B2. So what we can do, we can also split this signal and we can create one more node here, so that we can have the same, so the gain. So we can write that one B1, so which is SA, which is going to B2, and B3 which will be having SB. So now we have SC which is going to B4. Okay, so now this SA which earlier going like this, okay, so now we can split that one, so like this. So we'll create one more dummy node here, let us take B2 dash. Okay, so the same multiplying factor we can write here, so that, so the the splitting of this B2 node happens. Okay, so earlier it is going so like this, earlier it was going like this, now we have splitted and it is going like this. The B2 node we have split and we have so write the same multiplying factor here, so that I can write so directly the signal from B1 to B4. Okay, so this is what the splitting rule. Okay, so these are all the rules we have to follow while reducing the signal flow graph in order to find out the particular quantity. Okay, so whether it is at the input side or whether it is at the output side. Okay, so these are all the rules. So we'll see how we can do some problems based on these rules, so that we'll see in the next class. Okay, so if you have any doubt you can ask. Anybody, any doubt? Understood? Hello, Swaraj Pandey, understood? Hello, hello, Swaraj Pandey,
Present, sir.
understood?
Yes, sir.